everybody, Lord Tremendous here. Got another battle report here for you. This is Game 2 of the Rock Wars GT 2014. It's a 2,200 point battle, and of course, as always, it is I, Lord Tremendous of the Warriors of Chaos, versus the Rat King of the Skaven. This guy, his name is Nick Gunter, and he had a brutally good Skaven army. Deceptively good Skaven army. But it is one hell of a game. So sit back, relax, and get ready to see how we kick the crap out of each other. This one is the second scenario of the tournament. Is called Call the Hogs. Deployment is the Blood and Glory deployment, which is kind of like 15 inches in and 9 inches sides that you can't deploy in. Basically, the way it worked was the first person to break their opponent gains 500 victory points as opposed to just winning the game. And the second person to break their opponent gets 200 victory points. So, you know, if you can break your opponent, you could actually come back, even if he breaks you first. So that was kind of cool. The special rules was the player who goes second deploys the hogs. It was a little, I believe it was a 40 or 50 millimeter base unit of little hogs. I'll show you a picture. They're actually kind of funny. But yeah, the person who goes second deploys the hogs 24 inches from the long table edge and 6 inches from the short. At the beginning of each turn, the hogs move 3d6 inches randomly, ignoring all terrain and 1-inch rules. Basically, you roll 3d6 and the scatter die, and wherever that little arrow points is where those crazy bastards just go trundling off to. If a player wants, however, they can instead have a unit call the hogs rather than move the unit. So basically you go, okay, instead of moving, my warhounds are going to call the pigs to them. And if they do that, the pigs move 5d6 directly towards that unit, going through everything just to get to them. If the hogs hit a unit at any time, that unit takes 2d6 strength, whatever turn it is, AP hits. So in turn 1, it's not that bad. Turn 6, you have a serious problem. Treat the hogs as a magical vortex that can't be dispelled, basically. So you couldn't charge it, you couldn't walk through it, stuff like that. It didn't block line of sight or anything, but it certainly hampered the movement phase if you were lucky enough to have it sitting in front of you. Bonus battle points for this scenario is you get +1 for calling the hogs into one of your own units, and you will also get a +1 battle point for calling the hogs every turn. Bonus victory points, 500 if you break your opponent first, and the breaking point was 3. 200 victory points if you break your opponent second, and 75 victory points for each table corner you control. Victory conditions were, if you get a 0 to a 100 point victory, you get a draw, so it's 5 and 5. If you get it over 100 to 400, you get a minor victory, which is 6-4, and anything over 401 victory points is a major victory, which is 8 to deuce.
Assemble the army!
Here's my list, and you guys have seen it 140 million times, but hey, the end is near. This one and 3 others, and you will never see this list again because I have already shipped out models from this army. Trifection, the Orange Beast, I'm getting ready to send off the disc, so yeah, don't worry, the pain is almost done. So, anyway, I've got my Demon Prince, Lord Tremendous. He's got the Mark Zinch, level 4 Wizard, Chaos Armor, Charm Shield, Dragonbane Gem, other Trickster, Shard, Soul Feeder, Flaming Wrist, Scaled Skin, and the Laura Medal. My hero choices are my Exalted Hero, Lady Elizabeth, with the Mark Zinch, Halberd, Casti, BSB, Helm of Many Eyes, Dawnstone, and Poisonous Slime. Last, but certainly least, is my Exalted Hero, Catastrophe, with the Mark Zinch, Demonic Mount, Halberd, Shield, Talisman of Preservation, and Third Eye Zinch. My core choice consists of 5 Chaos Warhounds, the Khorne Dogs, 18 Chaos Warriors, the Reavers of Ulthuan, with the Mark of Khorne, Halberds, Full Command, and a Banner of Rage, and 15 Forsaken, Khorne's Forgotten, with the Mark of Khorne. My special choice consists of 5 Chaos Knights, Elizabeth's Honor Guard, with Mark Zinch and Sorcered Weapons, Band, Musician, and Standard Discipline. And my rare choice, the one, the only, Snuffleupagus, my Mutalith Vortex. Gotta love the beast. My opponent's list is as follows. He had a Grey Seer, who was a level 4 wizard with a bunch of Warpstone tokens. I think he ended up with like 3 or 4, I don't remember. A Dispel Scroll and a Talisman of Preservation, because Skaven like to survive. His hero choices were a Chieftain BSB with Heavy Armor, Shield, and the Razor Standard, a Plague Priest, who's a level 2 wizard, on a Plague Furnace, Shadow Magnet Trinket, and the Iron Curse Icon. And I think the Shadow Magnet Trinket makes it so you're at -1 to shoot at these things. Not 100%. He also had a couple of Warlock Engineers. One had the Death Globe, and the other one had the Doom Rocket. His core choices consist of 5 Giant Rats, a little dart, 2 units of 30 Clan Rats, both with Banner Musician and Poison Wind Mortar Weapon teams, and a unit of 15 Storm Vermin with Standard Musician, Warp Fire Thrower Weapon team, and the Storm Banner. His special choice consists of 34 Plague Monks with Musician, Standard, and the Plague Banner, and his rare choices were a Hell Pit Abomination and 2 Warp Lightning Cannons, which were awesome. Here are my spells, which consist of 4 from the Lore Metal and my tape measure. Don't ask. And here are the rodent spells. And, you know what, I have no idea what he got. Those are the cards that he threw down. Those are the ones I took a picture of. You want to know what they are? Pause it. I have no idea. Here's deployment, and he had 2 Warp Lightning Cannons. There was no running from these things. You can't hide your Demon Prince behind a building or impassable terrain or anything. Not that this particular map had a lot of them, but you understand. There's nowhere for me to hide my monsters. You can't hide them from Warp Lightning Cannons. They bounce through, go through everything. So even if you can't see you, it's just like, alright, that direction, and fire. So I was like, screw it. He's going to either kill me or I'm going to get a hold of him. Either way, whatever. So I just put everything out front. The Forsaken were going to take care of my right flank. My dogs, their goal was to get a hold of one of the weapons teams before they got shot off the table. I toyed with the idea of calling the pigs towards me, but I'm playing Skaven. I need every single model on the table. So as far as I was concerned, as long as the pigs weren't in any situation where they were really going to inhibit me, I'm not calling them, I'm not talking to them, I'm not doing anything with the pigs. Damn the battle point. My Corn Warriors were going to shoot across the table as quickly as they possibly could and try to get into any of the rats. I didn't care which. My Demon Prince, I was really hoping was going to get into the furnace with the Plague Monks and start working on them. The Knights, I hoped, were either going to get into a cannon or into the Plague Monks as well, while the Beast and the Exalted Hero, Sir Fails-a-Lot, were going to try to deal with the Abomination the best they could. That was my plan. That's why I deployed this way, and get ready to see how well this works out for me. Here's my opponent's right flank, which consists of his Abomination, his Giant Rats, and a Lightning Cannon. And here's his center, which consists of his Plague Monks on a Furnace with a little Plague Wizard on there. A Weapons team, I assume it's the one to go with Clan Rats. Warp Fire, maybe? I honestly don't remember. Right there in the middle there is a unit of Clan Rats. Next to them is another unit of Clan Rats, and I believe his BSB, his General, and a Engineer are in that unit, the one with the Doom Rocket. Next to them, of course, is their weapons team. And over here in the left flank is the Mortar weapon team, maybe? A Lightning Cannon and Storm Vermin. And there's a picture of the piggies. Hi, piggies! Alrighty, here's my right flank, which consists of my Forsaken and my dogs. And here's my center. From right to left, there's my Corn Warriors, my Demon Prince, and Lady Elizabeth with her Knights. And my left flank, which consists of the Beast and the Loser. So, we go over here to top of 1 after movement, and I don't get to go first. The Skaven goes first, and believe it or not, the Skaven didn't charge. It was crazy! His Abomination moves forward like 6 inches. I mean, not very far. His little unit of Giant Rats moves up pretty quick. The pigs go terrorizing across the table. He actually called them with his unit of Clan Rats. And his Storm Vermin move up slightly. Not very much. During his shooting phase, because his magic phase is basically wasted, his weapons teams were just on point this game. They hit direct right in the middle of my Forsaken, hitting 9 of them. But luckily for me, only the stragglers died, so I've still got 12, and that's plenty to do some serious damage to this guy. What's not good is that the lightning cannons, not only do they hit, but they do enough damage to just blow my Demon Prince away. The first one bounces off the Charm Shield, the second one bounces off his head, and yeah, the Demon Prince is dead, top of 1, and you knew it was coming. He's got 2 lightning cannons. There's nothing you can do about that, so I just accepted it. Over here, his Doom Rocket Engineer hits almost perfectly on my Corn Warriors and hits a ton of them. But he rolls really bad for wounds and ends up only killing 3, which I can deal with. Having, 15 Chaos Warriors of Corn still is plenty to do the job against the dreaded Clan Rat. So, with half my army dead, beaten, and destroyed, we go to bottom of 1 after movement. And I do what everybody has to do against Skaven. I funnel forward as fast as I can. The Corn Warriors, the Dogs, and the Forsaken move up pretty much as far as they can. Lady Elizabeth, the Beast, and the Exalted Hero all fail charges. So that kind of sucks a lot. But it is what it is, I guess. What can you do? There's a better picture of the Exalted Hero failing a charge into the Abomination, because, yes. Believe it or not, the Beast failed a charge into the Rats, and I was really banking on making that because it would put him right next to the cannon so he could deal with it. And now the cannon's going to get to blow him away because he's 2 turns away from the damn thing. And there's a failed charge from my Knights. They were trying to hit those Plague Monks. They literally needed a 9, and I couldn't do it. So that was just awesome. Also during the movement phase, the pigs go tearing through. Wow, words are hard. The Storm Vermin, and since it's only turn 1, it's 2d6 strength, 1 hits, and 1 Storm Vermin dies. But hey, it's 1 less that I have to worry about. Nothing else happens. My magic phase is destroyed. I don't shoot, and there's no combat. So we go to top of 2. And the Plague Monks, needing a 9 to hit my idiot Chaos Warriors. He rolls the 9, makes it no problem. The Storm Vermin charge into the Forsaken, which is exactly what I wanted because I knew I could take those things. They're rats. I'm not concerned about them. The Clan Rats stay right where they are because there's no reason for them to move. The little Dart Rats move in front of the Knights because he's pretty confident that my Beast is dead. And then his Abomination tears into the Exalted Hero. Sir fails a lot. And I gotta be honest, I was kind of thinking that this game was going to be over quick. There's a better picture of Sir Failure getting charged by the Abomination. And the way I see it, it's poetic justice. And over here, the Plague Monks and the Furnace are faster than my idiot Corn Warriors. My Berserk Corn Warriors, I can't wait to get into combat, won't charge for nothing. So I'm actually okay with him making this charge too because I'm kind of rooting against my damn Warriors who can't make a simple effing charge. And then here's the Storm Vermin slamming into the Forsaken, and I'm perfectly fine with that. My Forsaken are going to eat these guys alive, and they just don't realize it yet. During his magic phase, he skitterlipped this little dude over here, and honestly, I was saving my dice because I was at a serious disadvantage. I was saving my dice to try to stop the dreaded 13th spell because that spell scares the hell out of me. So yeah, the little dude jumped behind my Corn Warriors, and I didn't care. And so he throws the globe into the Corn Warriors, and he hits pretty good. He pretty decently. I think he hits 4 or 5 guys. But he rolls like crap to wounding them, and only 1 more dies. And once again, I'm kind of rooting for him, so I'm fine with that. During the shooting phase, also, the 2 cannons take careful aim at my Megalith and blow him into tiny, tiny bits, because that's what lightning cannons do. They neuter you. And it's not pleasant. It's not. Then over here, he takes a bunch of shots with his weapon teams and foul language and kills 3 out of my 5 dogs, which sends them packing. They have had enough of this BS and they're going home. I can't blame them. Everybody else seems to be leaving the field rather quickly. So we go over to combat, and my Corn Warriors actually do alright. I think they kill like 8 or 9 of these Plague Monks, but in return, I get thunder stomped by the Plague Monks Furnace combo, and I lose combat by like 3. I break, I roll a 4 to flee, and he rolls like a 4 or more to catch me, and the Corn Warriors die, and it takes every ounce of my willpower to not smash the entire unit on the ground and piss onto broken pieces. I am so done with the Warriors of Chaos. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people like them. Hell, I liked them for a long time, but I am a true follower of Tzeentch. I need change. I am so not into this army anymore. I am so incredibly sick of this army. They break, and I'm sick of break checks, I think is what it is. I am so tired of losing by 1 or 2, failing to make an 8 or a 9 or a 7 or whatever, anything other than a friggin' 6 or less. And yeah, and breaking and fleeing 4 inches. I am so tired of that. So yeah, they died, and I couldn't care less. I literally had to like get control of myself because I wanted to walk over and throw every last model into a trash can. Just so tired of it. Then over here in combat, Catastrophe. Couldn't believe it. Could not believe it. Not only did this crazy bastard make all of his armor and ward saves, because this abomination beat the crap out of him, but I was able to slip 2 wounds, 2 or 3 wounds through on this thing. I win combat, but it's like stubborn infinity and makes its break check. But the fact that I've got the upper hand in this combat, it was almost too good to be true. I was really trying to figure out what was going on. And then over here, yeah, I get always strikes first, which was cool. I was striking before him and I had hatred, but I kill all but like 4 of these things, which was awesome. And then they break and run. Bounced right off my Forsaken, bounced through the pigs, and like another 2 died. The banner explodes, so 1 storm vermin is left. They do get away. I was not able to catch them, but the Forsaken are in a beautiful position to go after the weapons team and the cannon, both of which were ran through by the 1 remaining storm vermin, which was hilarious. And then they both fail their panic checks. The weapons team goes flying off the table, and the cannon just cowers. So finally, now that all my monsters are dead, one of his cannons can't shoot. Thanks, Tzeentch. Thanks. So we go over here to bottom of 2 after movement, and I've got nothing left. I've got a unit of Forsaken. I've got Catastrophe, who I've pretty much already counted as dead, and I've got my knights. Everything else is already dead or fleeing. The dogs continue to flee. I don't think they rally, and if they do, oh yeah, they do rally in a minute. Anyway, but yeah, my whole army is dead, and I've killed storm vermin of his. That's it. I'm terribly on the back foot here, and there's no recovery, so I go for broke. The Forsaken unfortunately can't charge the cannon or anything like that because the pigs are in the way, so it's like a vortex. You can't charge through it. There's nothing I can do, so they just stand there because, I mean, even reforming, there's nothing they can do. My knights go run into the flank of the plague bears because why not? Or plague monks, whatever, the furnace unit. And Catastrophe's already in combat, so what else can I do? There's a better picture of my knights slamming into the plague monks, and that's pretty cool because maybe they'll be dead soon. I don't know. I'm desperately hoping for points here. Also during the movement phase, the pigs bounce through the cannon. I don't think they do anything to them, but they're going the right direction, and now my Forsaken are freed up. So hopefully the Forsaken can charge into this cannon and take care of it before something shoots them off the table or whatever. Over here in combat, nothing happens. We kind of flub. Well, he doesn't flub. He beats the crap out of me, but I'm able to make all my saves. In return, I'm not able to put anything through that sticks, and we end up stalemating. Over here, however, my knights do really well, but unfortunately, after all is said and done, he's still steadfast and makes his break check no problem. And then he turns to face me. And with that little pendulum swinging thing, I'm really nervous because once it hits my knights, I'm dead. Because I know he's going to roll like an 8 or a 10 for strength on the damn artillery die and explode my face. But until that happens, we move on to top of 3 after movement. And he does something I didn't expect. He takes his little rat unit and charges it into the knight's rear. Didn't fully understand why he did that, but I mean, I guess he wanted the +3 combat res, hoping to break me, but anything that those rats do, I'm going to do right back to him, not to mention probably finish off the plague monks, so I didn't fully follow that. But hey, you know what? This guy's beating the crap out of me. He can afford to make mistakes. Other than that, the cannons and the warp weapons teams or whatever and the clan rats all just kind of like, we don't really have anything to do because the warriors have fallen over really fast, so they just kind of fan out a little bit and get all, you know, dynamic. There's a better picture of his giant rat slamming into the rear of my knights. During his shooting phase, I don't remember what he was shooting at, to be honest with you. He was shooting at something, and it blew up in his face. He misfired 1 and exploded the thing, and there was nothing really around that gave a crap, but that was cool that 1 less cannon was on the table. You know, not that they didn't make their points, like, triple by killing the Beast and the Demon Prince, but, yeah, it was good to see that thing fall apart. At least it wouldn't be at the victory party. During the combat phase over here, I'm able to slip another wound through on the Abomination. I win this combat, but once again, it's stubborn and it isn't going anywhere. And then over here, every single knight dies. Not to the Plague Monks, not to the big rats in the back, but to that swinging Pendulum of Doom thing. Swung, hit, wounded at like strength 8, killed all 5 of the knights. Lady Elizabeth is all that's left, and that's awesome. However, the giant rats end up winning this combat, and the giant rats break. They flee. They bounce through catastrophe. I think one more dies, and yeah, the Packmaster dies actually, which is kind of funny. And so yeah, the rats have to rally, but they never do, and I get like 8 points, which is just thrilling. So with all the pain over, or just getting started, we go over here to bottom of 3 after movement, and my Forsaken finally get a chance to charge the last remaining cannon, and that's all that happens. I think the pigs move like towards the board edge. They don't really do anything. There's a better picture of the Forsaken slamming into the cannon because I'd like to get a point or two. With my magic and shooting phase obliterated, not that I really ever had a shooting phase, we go straight into combat, and the Forsaken just tear the lightning cannon apart, which is good. One less thing to worry about. They overrun and end up really near the pigs. Then over here in combat, I'm able to finish off the Plague Monks. The BSB, of course, rejected a challenge, went to the back, but he moves up slightly. The Furnace does the pendulum swing and smashes Lady Elizabeth's face into the ground, killing her because everything else is going so well. Why wouldn't she die? So with now 2 units left on the table, we go to top of 4 after movement. And you're looking at it. He doesn't really need to move anywhere. The clan rats turn to face the Forsaken because the Grey Seer wants to see what happens when he gets his Lucky 13 spell off. The other unit of the clan rats just kind of stays put because they don't got to do anything, and everything else is pretty much exactly how you remember it. During the movement phase, the pigs do run through my Forsaken and kill 1, which is okay. And then during the magic phase, the Grey Seer says some stuff to the Forsaken. The Forsaken like what they hear and turn back into clan rats, just like earlier. If you remember a few battle reports ago, that exact same damn thing happened. So yeah, all my Forsaken die and get turned into clan rats, which is just fantastic because now everything but my dogs and my failure are on the table, and it's bottom of 3 or top of 4. I'm sorry. So yeah, it's just going swimmingly. It was Irresistible Force, however, and he rolled a miscast 8, and I believe his 4 abort save saved him. It ends his magic phase, but what else did he have to cast? Then over here in combat, Cass, realizing that he's one of the only remaining things on the table on the Chaos side, decides to turn his ward save off. He takes 2 wounds, but he's able to put 2 wounds on the Abomination, and so it's another stalemate, but he's almost dead. So we go to bottom of 4 after movement, and it's really fast. The pigs kind of move through the Forsaken and kill a bunch of them, and other than that, nothing. I'm sorry, the clan rats that formerly known as Forsaken. I think he kills all but 3, and everything else I have is dead or in combat. Mostly dead. There's a better picture of the traitor clan rat Forsaken things getting smashed to death by pigs because insult loves injury. But in the combat phase, Kaz finally slips the last wound through on the stupid Abomination. It dies. He rolls like a 1, so it's dead, dead, dead. He gets +1 strength for his trouble and turns to face the rest of the Skaven army because in 2 turns, he has to kill all of it or I lose this game. So we go over here to top of 5 after movement, and again, there's not a whole heck of a lot. His little Forsaken clan rats move up a little bit, mostly just to get away from the pigs. All the weapons teams turn to face Cass because he's really the only threat, and that's really about it. His BSB does leave the unit, I think, and move behind the Furnace, and his little Skitterleap dude moves over to try to block Catastrophe's charge. Oh, I'm sorry. During the movement phase, the pigs do bounce through Forsaken. We forgot. We do it a little bit later. Bounce through the Forsaken rats and kill the rest of them because, well, you know, it's turn 5. These pigs are getting quite strong. Nothing else happens. I'm able to either ward, regen, or luck save my way out of everything that gets shot at Cass. And we go over here to bottom of 5 after movement, and the only thing I have left is the unit of dogs that rallied charge the flank of his BSB. It's a Hail Mary shot. If his BSB flubs and I can just do a wound to him, there's the off chance I can get him to break, explode, and get myself some much needed points. Catastrophe goes after the only thing he can, which is the little rat, because I want the furnace. So the plan was kill the rat, run into the furnace, or if I'm really lucky, run into where the Grey Seer is and beat the piss out of him for a while. There's a better picture of the dog slamming into his BSB, and that was just hopeful. And here's a better picture of Cass slamming into the little Warlock Engineer that's done nothing this game. With magic and shooting and everything like that pretty much non-existent, we go straight into combat, and Catastrophe is able to kill the little naked engineer, which was oh so fun. And so he had to do it in a challenge because I have to issue challenges, and the little dude had no choice but to accept. So I roll in the Eye of the Gods, and Catastrophe dies. Becomes a demon prince. Just in case you don't know, when a Warriors of Chaos hero or lord ascends to demonhood in the middle of the game, he counts as dead. You still counts as the BSB or the general or something like that. You don't get points for that, but Cass is neither of these things. He's just some random retard I let hang out in my army and try to kill stuff. But yeah, the one worst possible outcome that he could have gotten, and he got it. He is a demon prince and considered dead for the purposes of victory points. So I table myself, basically. I mean, yeah, the dogs are still alive, but guess how that's going to go. So yeah, I basically table myself here, and I do it for a demon prince that is now worth 0 points to him, because he's already got all points for that unit. So awesome. Then over here in close combat, his BSB does not flub. He ends up doing a wound to the dog. So charge and flank to banner and wound. We stalemate, and the dog is dead. My Hail Mary pass failed to connect. So we go over here to top of 6 after movement, and my opponent is not an idiot and decides, hey, I'm not going to let you get a hold of anything important. So he charges his empty unit of clan rats right into my demon prince, and is like, I know I'm not going to beat up the Demon Prince. I know I've already won this game, but I don't want you getting a hold of my Gracie or anything like that. So enjoy killing clan rats. If you kill them all, maybe you get 100 points. Then he said something about me being a loser and slapped me in the mouth. No, he didn't do anything like that at all. He was actually a very cool guy. Here's a better picture of his clan rats slamming into my newly appointed Demon Prince because the old one sucked. He skips magic and shooting because, you know, it would be illegal or stupid to do. So the one remaining dog is able to slip a wound through on the rat, and then the rat is able to kill the dog. So he wins this combat by sheer force of will, and, well, combat res would have been his too, I think. But either way, doesn't matter. Dog's dead, and that's pretty much unfortunate. That's what should have happened. Then over here in combat, Catastrophe, the Demon Prince, is able to kill like 5 or 6 of the clan rats. I win this combat. He steadfast stays, and nobody cares. So we go over here to bottom of 6 after movement, and once again, nobody cares because nothing happens. We go straight into combat because it doesn't matter if I kill this unit or not. My opponent has won this game by a landslide, and of course I win this combat, and he's steadfast, and he stays. So, there it is, the end of the game. Needless to say, the only reason this army still exists in its original form is because I didn't want to invoke the wrath of my wife by telling her, yes, honey, after 5 games with the Warriors in round 2, I decided that running the army over with the car multiple times was the best way to put them out of my misery. Oh, these guys are all going on the shelf of shame. I'm just tired of them. I know. It's not the models, it's not the dice, it's me. I'm well aware of that. I just don't want to play these guys anymore. I'm not enjoying them. Even when I won my 3rd preliminary game, I just don't enjoy playing this army anymore. My heart's not in it. All I am is able to focus on the negatives. And I really missed my Tomb Kings. Like, the whole time, I'm like, I don't want to be playing these guys. I want to play my Tomb Kings. I wish that I had started playing them earlier so I could have had them painted and ready for this GT. And then I threw a temper tantrum, but somebody gave me a bottle and changed my diaper, and life was good. But we'll get back to the recap in a second, because right now it's time for a quick timeout. banners, banners, banners. Get you some banners. Look at the banners. You are never going to be able to get better banners than this. There is no company, there is no talent scout, there is no entity on the planet that's going to get you banners better than this. Custom banners for your custom army. You want better paint scores. You want that little edge that makes your army better than the guy next to you. Sick of running, going to tournaments and getting that paint score that's just a few points lower than the guy that literally sneezes on his army. And you can't figure out why? Get these banners and make your army really pop, really stand out. Send this guy an email, tell him what you want, and get yourself some banners. It's totally worth it. And exactly as you realized, I got thunderstomped in this one. Another whooping for Lord Tremendous. I'm starting to feel like Peon Tremendous, let me tell you. I ended up getting 928 points out of my opponent, which I think might have been actually a little high, while my opponent got 3,100 victory points. Keep in mind, he got the 500 for breaking me, he got table corners, he got all the bonuses for killing the Demon Prince and killing my BSB, so he got a ton of bonus points. It hurt so good. I ended up losing everything again because it's tradition and I'm big on that. My opponent ended up losing both of his engineers, his plague monks, his storm vermin, a warp fire thrower, his giant rats, both of his cannons, and an abomination. So there was some blood on his side, but not nearly enough. I just couldn't do anything about the Demon Prince's death. You see 2 Warp Lightning Cannons, all you can hope is that they fail the wound or you make your ward save. Because other than that, you're just a corpse. And that sucks. What can you do? When they can shoot through everything, there's really nothing you can do. You can't hide from them. You just gotta hope. But it is what it is. My opponent did exactly what he was supposed to do, and it worked out great for him. Actually, it worked out almost flawlessly for him, but it still sucked. I was really disappointed when my Demon Prince top of 1 was face down in the mud. Cast didn't fail me the entire game. He actually ascended. Ascended. That kind of sucked actually, but still, it was pretty cool. The Furnace Pendulum attack is devastating. I could have sworn there was like an initiative check to get out of the way. Apparently there's not. I must be thinking of the magic spell or whatever, but it just ate my knights alive, and it also finished off Alyssa death. So, damn it. The Warriors failed something awful this game. Failed their charge, got recharged, lost combat by like 2, and then broke and fled like an inch. I think they wanted to die. My Warriors are just self-depreciating. I don't even know. And the Forsaken, oh my god, every time they've run into Skaven lately, it's like, we want to join you, turn us into rats, and the Grey Seers oblige them. I am really getting tired of my traitor Forsaken. But all in all, it was still a damn fun game. My opponent was absolutely outstanding. He was really apologetic, like, man, I'm sorry about this, and blah, blah, blah. And, he wasn't a dick. He was a real good guy. I enjoyed our game. I enjoyed meeting this guy and playing our game. I didn't enjoy the game as much as I could have because I'm playing this army and I'm sick of it. But it wasn't my opponent's fault at all. He did exactly what he should have done. It was exactly what I was trying to do to him. And if I had the opportunity, I would take it in a heartbeat to play against this guy again. But yeah, bottom line is I hate this army right now, and I just want to play my Tomb Kings. Yeah, I might need another diaper change. I'm well aware. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. Game 2 of the Rock Wars GT, the long-awaited Rock Wars GT. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to put them in the comments section below, and I will get back to you as quick as I can. But yeah, guys, thanks.